Got the old Toro wheel horse C-145. Hydrostatic. Got the Subaru Robin. 9 horsepower on here. And it's been on here for a very long time. Burns a ton of oil. And it's time for an engine swap. So I'm gonna pull this trailer off, pull that plow off, and then somehow make it fit under my cap in the bed of my truck. Maybe, I think I just need to pull the seat and the upper section with the steering wheel. We'll see. And roll it up, and put it right in the bed of the truck. So stay tuned. I'm gonna bring it home to my garage to do all the work and give this thing some love. But I don't think it's gonna fit. It's not gonna fit underneath my cap the way it is. So if I pull the hood, the upper part of the steering column, the steering wheel, and the seat, I think will be good, and it'll fit underneath. Actually really good.
That worked extremely well.
No, this way.
I'm gonna go up there and scooch it over. That's the right way to do it.
All right, I'll load it up. It's a 6.5 foot bed, 2500 Ram, Lear cap, and got our tractor in there and all my other stuff, but it fits. All right, I'm just gonna put this back together just so that way it's easy to move around. Just put the seat back on, the steering column and everything else. That's it. Nice and simple. It's got the nice little stops in there so you can open it. A lot of access. This has the latching system for the front, for the bottom, and I have the rear for the plow. So, originally I was going to do a Yanmar clone on this, and then possibly a turbo and the whole 9. But thinking more about it, I use it at my upstate place where it's -5 degrees in the wintertime when I'm snow plowing, and diesel's just going to become a headache. So I'm either going to do the Predator 420 or the Predator 459 max performance. But the 459, I like it that it has pressurized oil system, but I also don't like the fact that it has a pressurized oil system because it's just another thing to fail. So I think I'm going to go with the 420. It's 360 bucks. This is 265 cc, and it ran this thing pretty well before it failed. Technically, it makes 9 horsepower, but it makes like 7 horsepower at 3,600 RPM continuous. It makes 9 peak. That's the beauty of these Subaru Robins, is that they make a lot of torque and a lot of power with the overhead cam. So this is 265 cc, about 7 horsepower. If we go to a 420, it gets us up to 13 and a half, 14 horsepower. And I mean, it's going to be perfect. It's 420 cc. The original motor for this is 512 cc Kohler, but that's a big flathead, totally different class of engine. So I think the 420 is going to be perfect. It'll fit better. I have a motor plate that already has the holes for a 420. So I'm going to get rid of this motor plate, get rid of these 45-degree angle brackets and all these bushings. I have the new motor plate that is already set up for the 420 and it's rubber motor mounts that I can go directly to the frame with. And it'll just make this thing that much better. Looking at these tires, I mean, they're pretty dry rotted. I'm going to look at pricing and see. Maybe I'll get some ag tires. Definitely make this thing a hell of a lot better. I was trying to find some fenders. I mean, this thing's pretty rotted, but a lot of the weight is on that bracket down there. It's not really on the fenders. It's really just for show. So we'll see. Probably going to get a coat of paint. Going to do something with this dash. Take off this plastic. It's like an aluminum. I think it's aluminum, and then it has plastic over the top of the aluminum. So we'll clean it up. It's kind of neat. It's got 2 gauge holes, so I mean, I don't really need them for anything. So we'll see. One step at a time. But I want to keep it pull start. I don't want to put another battery on it. Don't need another battery to fail. So that's kind of the beauty of this machine, is that you just walk up to it, pull start it, and it runs. I'd like to try and keep it that way. But I'm going to give it some TLC. Probably going to paint the wheels and wheel weights. I'll dump the fluid in the transmission, which is just 10W30 technically. It's just motor oil. I'm going to do a little bit of research on that, see what the best options are. It might be better with conventional versus synthetic, but we'll see. And that'll basically clean it up. And then I just want to tighten up all the linkages, get a new idler pulley for it, because this one's pretty wiped out. Maybe give the hood a coat of paint, get some better clips, grease everything, and this thing will be rock solid. It's pretty rock solid the way it is, but it needs just needs some TLC. I mean, that motor's just burning oil, so that'll be next. So we'll see. Let's take a ride to Harbor Freight and get an engine. Got this thing all tore down, so everything off the back. Got a little looseness in this linkage, so I'm gonna change the oil in this. This just takes 1030. I'm gonna do a little bit of research on what's best, synthetic versus conventional. But I've never changed the oil in this. It's fine. I mean, it's clean, but it's probably, I mean, it's old. It's at least 10 years old, so I'll change that. This brake, I peeled the, where is it? The guts of this brake came right out, this band brake. So this has probably been failing for a while. I'm going to try to get one on eBay and swap this band. And it will adjust everything and make it nice and tight. And I'm probably going to do a seat and figure that out. But rear end's in decent shape. I'd like to do something with this. It's a little, I don't know. This is pretty beat up. These little spacers are shot and they're like swollen from rust. So I like to just clean it up. I use this a lot. So, and then maybe I'll shore it up a little bit so that way it sits a little bit higher. We'll see. One step at a time. And then this bar down here that keeps these two straight. You kind of see how this one's crooked. I'm going to take this carriage off, straighten that out, put it all back on, because that's why it's a little difficult to get the plow on and off, because that's crooked. I'll pressure wash everything, clean all this up, get these linkages nice and tight again. As for the front end, I got rid of the weird 45-degree angle bushing thing. You can kind of see it in there. That was the original mounting plate. I have this other mounting plate. This came from another piece of equipment. This is probably 1/8 inch. It's sturdy. It was a engine plate for a GX340. So a 420 or whatever I decide to put on this is going to bolt right up. Or if I need to change up the bolt pattern, I will. But it's slightly longer, slightly wider, and I can put it wherever I need to line up with the rear pulley. And with this, I also have these nice insulators or vibration dampers. So those will get bolted straight down to the original chassis, and then wherever this ends up, I'll figure it out with once I have the engine and the pulley on it, and then I can even move it all the way back, which I'm thinking would be really nice because it always sat forward, and I mean the weight forward is good, but at least then I can tuck it and make it all fit perfect. So we'll see. We'll play with that. But yeah, we're in good shape here. So I just need to get an engine, and then I'll start fiddling around with that. Took off the quick attach that was on the front for a mower, which I don't have. I don't have the clutch or mule drive or anything. This is strictly for pulling things and running the plow. So while I'm waiting for other parts, I'm going to actually open this up and let it drain. So this is the pickup tube for the main oil reservoir, which basically fills the whole unit. But this tube runs down and goes down underneath to right there. And that's the bottommost section of the gear case. So that's where it picks up the oil and then pumps it into the system. So I'm going to take that line off. I actually just sprayed these, or a couple days ago I sprayed them with PB Blaster, and it seems like they broke loose. So I'm going to open them up and let this drain. And there's our pickup tube. And it's flowing right down there. We're gonna let that drip for a while. Broke down and bought some parts for this thing. So, start with this. So I ordered a Duramax 420. Basically similar motor to the Predator 420, but available on Amazon. Sold by, or fulfilled by Jack Small Engines. Was on sale, $350, $349 with a coupon. So normally it's like $380, which is the same cost as a Predator 420. And I figured, all right, I'll order one. I had one of these on another project, and I like the way they're built. So purchased this guy, shipped to my house, free shipping, the whole nine, and just for ease. That was the only purpose. But box came all banged up. I opened it up. The gas tank is completely caved in. And then I was going to call them and see about just getting a gas tank because the rest seemed good. And then I lifted it out and the casting was cracked on the bottom. So completely shot. So that's going to go back. It's going to get returned. I got a label for it. They were super helpful. Amazon wasn't, but Jack Small Engines was great. So I'm going to send that back, and I don't want that. I don't want it to happen again. So I'm just going to go straight to Harbor Freight, get one off the shelf. I can cut it open, check it out before I bring it home. So that's going to go back. I'm going to go with a Predator 420 for this project. Ended up getting the new brake band, or new to me. So this is a stock replacement. This came or a takeoff from another C-Series machine. So this came from eBay. It's got light use on it. So that'll replace that band down in there. So that's my brakes. I got a hour meter tachometer, which I'm going to mount someplace on the dash. I'm going to get rid of this plastic. And then just an angle bracket for, it's just an angle for the muffler. So this is just a turn. It's simple. This fits a Predator 420, anything else. It just screws onto the muffler. But basically, because previously this one was shooting straight out the front, out the hood, I'm just going to turn it. It was easy enough. It's like $5. So that's Amazon. So I don't want to start drilling anything until I have the actual motor that I'm going to use. I also ordered a heavy-duty keyway, or heavy-duty key, and a new pulley. Because the original pulley that was on this is an 1.125" shaft. I can get the adapter kit. When I put it on this motor, I actually just made an adapter out of a piece of sheet metal, and it always was a little wobbly. So I just got a brand new cast pulley just to make it nice. So that's coming as well. And then for the rear end, this takes this is the hydrostatic model. This is a C-145H or C-145 Hydro. This takes 5 quarts of SAE 30 or SAE 40. I've never changed it. The oils, I mean, the oil looks great. It's been in there since I've owned the thing. I've never had any problems with it, but since I'm doing this service, I want to dump it and fill it back up. So I went with the Mobil 1 high mileage. Most of the high mileage oils, especially the Mobil 1, has a higher zinc concentration. So typical Mobil 1, like across the board, they're like 800 ppm. This goes up to, I think, 1100 ppm. So because of its use in a gear case, you have a lot of metal on metal contact. So this obviously is engine oil. It's for engines, but the thought is with older cars, you have flat tappet cams, you have a lot of metal on metal contact. So it'll be good in this. I went with a 1040. I wanted something a little bit heavier because I use the hydraulics a lot and it gets hot. Finally got an engine for this bad boy. So went to Harbor Freight, picked up a 420 Predator. Seems to be electric start. I don't think they even have a non-electric start anymore, or they're the same price. $379 list price. I got it for $320 because I had a 15% off coupon because I'm in the member of the buyer's exclusive club, whatever it is, for the $30 a year. Gonna unbox it now, make sure that it's in one piece, and then see if she'll fit on here. So maybe, hopefully, second time's the charm. That's interesting. Comes with main jets, a 95 and a 97 for high altitude. Pretty cool. That's it. I've never seen that before because I bought these engines before. Pretty neat. That's smart. And this one actually has foam in it. The Duramax was just cardboard, and that's probably why it was destroyed. Oh yeah, not bad. The electric start kit, which I'm not really going to use. Maybe I'll take it off. But I don't want to leave a big hole either, so maybe I'll just rewire it. We'll see. That's going to be sweet. Good engines. Careful. And that's about it. So, get this mocked up, see what she looks like. It's really not terribly larger. I mean, it's big, but it's not that big. I mean, even width isn't too crazy. 265 cc. It says 9 horse, but it's technically 7 horse continuous. This is a 420, and this is 13 horse, but give or take. Yeah, it's 13. We'll call it that. So Duramax rates their 420 at 16 horse. I don't know if it's a jetting thing or if they're just lying, but either way, we're good to go. I got my new pulley. So I'm going to put that on, and then we'll get this pulley aligned, and I'll take it from there, mock this thing up. That is going to be nice. Before I start messing with this, I'm going to put the tube, the drain, or the pickup tube back on the transmission, just so I don't drip any oil. I've let it drain for a couple days now, actually. It's been sitting, so just letting it drip. Yeah, that's the 5 mark, so maybe 4. I don't know how old this oil is. Doesn't really smell bad. It's motor oil, but I'm gonna put my pickup tube back on. I just slid back the nuts. Got some regular Plumber's Pro Dope. I love this stuff. Keeps everything lubricated and makes a good seal. So I'm gonna put a little bit on the sealing surface, a little on the threads, just so that way the next time I gotta take it apart, it's easier and lubricates them going on. And we'll put this back on. That's our fill. I'm gonna fill this thing up so I don't forget. I'm probably gonna have to recheck it once it's running. We'll fill the pump, we'll fill everything else. It's gonna fill, I don't know if anything drained back from the hydraulic cylinder or the valve, so, but I just don't want to forget, and God forbid run this thing dry and roast it, so. And I said this before, but we're running Mobile 1, full synthetic, high mileage. The high mileage has higher zinc content, and we're going with 1040. This is designed for straight 30 or straight 40, so I like the thicker oil. Alright, so I made a mess. Not enough room in this tube for the air to escape, so I just loosened it up and pull it off, and I'll probably fill from the top of the casting just to that should be better. That looks like NPT threads. Not bad for 1980s plastic. Trying to get anything in there. Okay, try that again. There. Actually, did these go all the way through? These two bolt holes go all the way in. They're through, they go all the way in. So I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna leave one out and let that be the vent. That way I can continuously check the level and make sure that we're not overfilling, because I don't want to have to extract. Okay, I'll top it off. As long as it's not running dry, I'm happy. Wow, it's like perfect. It's just over full, but I'm gonna run this thing. I want it to circulate. And you can actually see, I guess back when I did this, when I took this all apart probably 10 years ago now. It was like 2015, yeah, probably 10 years. I put dope on these because they go all the way through because I didn't want them to leak. I didn't want any water getting in there. So I'll probably do that again when I put this all back together. So, all right, so got enough in there that if I run it, it's not gonna beat up the transmission in any way. It's enough for it to pick up and run. Once we run it, I'll circulate it, check again, and I'll top off. It took probably half, I don't know, a little bit more than that. I don't know, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, almost 3 full quarts, maybe a little bit more. So it's perfect. So we're good. Oil's good. Now we'll start working, start fiddling around with that engine. I want to get it mounted. I want to get that plate cleaned, mounted to that plate, pulley on, lined up, and then get those holes drilled so that way this thing can get mounted solid. Gonna get this bolted to this plate. I have this just loosely on here. This is my pulley. This came from Amazon, cast iron. I'm gonna put it on with the flange side out because I want to get it as close as I can to keep the motor as close to the left as possible. So we'll get to that in a minute. I'll cut this off and put some anti-seize on there. So we'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna get this motor bolted to this plate first, then I'll get this on, then I'll get that lined up, play with the pullet, play with the belt, and then see where these insulators are gonna have to go, and then see about getting those holes drilled. Okay. Attached to the plate. Go all the way over for now. This off of there. Got some red Loctite because these are going to have to come off again. I don't want it to move. Pull it. Lube this up with some anti-seize. Cool. All right, so that's ready to go. I have enough room to actually put another one if I wanted to run something off the front. I don't know. I'll probably never do that, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. A little bit extra space. Maybe. My existing belt, 1/2 inch. Extremely worn, but it'll give me a good gauge of where I need to be. In theory, it should be like there. Just mocking this up. So, fits pretty well. It's going to come up about 3/4 of an inch because of the insulators for the motor. Vibration dampers. It really only hits right on the air cleaner, and I'm probably going to trim a little of this. I'll just hit it with a wheel and cut it out. But if I shift it over, I get to come to the right height, and I got plenty of, excuse me. I gotta come to the right height. I got plenty of room underneath. So when I come up that 3/4 of an inch, I'll figure out where I'm at with that, trim it out, and should be good to go. Got the motor just sitting here. I got my belt generally lined up, and kind of got my distance on my motor mount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this body, or mark the frame because the frame's perfectly straight. I'll mark it. I'll drill those 2 holes, throw a bolt in, and then drill my other 2 holes. Those are going to go through the plate and the bottom, and then or through the frame. And then we can get the insulators mounted, and then finalize the motor mounts, and then this guy's in. All right, so I got this referenced. So I'm 2.5 off of this seam, this angle iron seam. So that's there. And then left to right, I'm like, it really wants to be like there. So I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna make it exactly a 1/2 inch because I got a little bit of play to the back. It's a little bit over, it's not perfectly straight, but it's gonna be more than fine. And I'd rather just try to center the engine the best I can and catch as much meat as I can on that frame rail where that insulator is gonna go. So this is a good spot for that. There's nothing in the way there. And then clear there and clear there. So this is gonna be pretty easy. So I'm 2.5 off of there, 1/2 inch along here. This is straight, so I can just reference 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Clamp this, drill the holes, bolt it, drill the other 2 holes, put my insulators in, bolt the motor up for good. So these 2, there's actually a hole here and here underneath. So with this clamped and these bolts in here to hold it straight, I have a bit that's the same size as these holes. And from underneath, I'm gonna try to make a mark. Or maybe I'll drill them all the way. We'll see how far I get. Beautiful. Got these beauties. Okay, long side down. Do a flat, a lock and a nut. Got all my vibration dampers on. And that is where my plate is going to sit with engine directly on top. Alright, there's our motor mount. On there pretty good. That's that. Cool. We're on. Good clearance on the front. Good clearance on the brake. Plenty of room. Alright, got this motor all tightened up. Everything's on. We're good to go. Before I forget, and God forbid I forget, I'm going to fill this thing up with oil. So, we know how it is around here. AMSOIL. So, brand new motor. It's getting the good stuff. I want this to last. It's going to get an hour meter also. That way we can keep track, maintain. That's what makes these things last. Good oil changes. Alright, I'm going to try to make this hood fit. Figure out what I got to cut. Where we're at. Right here. All along. You know what? I'm going to take this whole thing. So these tin snips are actually working quite well. The only issue I'm running into is this little like bend. So I'm going to go from this end too. Ooh, that needs a little bit more. Once it's on, it's good. It's just that guy. I want to take just a little bit more off of here. There. Beautiful. Fits real nice. There we go. Not bad, not the prettiest thing in the world, but it isn't going to hit, and it'll be fine. Got the hood all bolted up, so motor's tight, hood's tight, it swings. I had to trim here so that way when it lifts up it doesn't hit. But plenty of room. Plenty of room. Flip the hood, fill it up with fuel, so don't have to modify the engine in any way. Fits perfect. And that's our pulley side, so we're in good shape. Next I'm going to take apart this dash. So this plastic is all swollen and not really needed. So, and this choke is no longer in use. So we're going to get rid of as much of this as possible just to clean things up. Oh my God, these are so seized. And my hour meter, I'm going to stick it right here where this choke was. So I got this secured. I got the actual choke bolts which have lock nuts, so I'm going to take advantage of them. Send this puppy right back through. And then I have the slot for the wire, so I'll snake that through there. I'll probably wrap it in electrical tape so it doesn't chafe. Next I'm going to take off this engine starter switch, key switch unit, because it's just going to get destroyed. The key is going to get in the way, and it needs to be simplified. I'm not using the charging system. It's only a 1.5 amp charging system, so even if I did put a battery on here, I'd still want to get the other coil and make it 3 amps and get a bigger voltage regulator. And it's too much. So I'm going to eliminate this box. I'm going to leave the starter because I don't want a hole going into where the flywheel is. And any wires that I'm not using, I'll zip tie up for the charging coil, which is really only, I think it's one. And then I'm just going to take the kill switch, and I have one of these simple little toggle switches. This will go right in the dash right here. That way you have it right when you're sitting on it. You can get to it. It's nice and easy, and it's simplified. So this is just going to go to one wire to engine magneto shutdown and one wire to ground, and just super simple. Continuity is off, or there's engine off. So that's on, which means continuity on typical switch. So we're gonna flip that over. So that way that's up is on, down is off. But off is continuity, which would be on the switch, or closed. And then open is up. I'm going to pull this box off. So it's just 2 bolts on the one side, 8mm. Okay. This lower wire is charging coil, power inlet, brown one, or power, AC power from the stator, which is just a coil behind the flywheel, nothing special. So that's AC power, not going to get used. This is kill switch. So low oil shutdown, which I plan not to use. Actually, I could probably just cut all these. I don't plan on using any. Not low oil cut off. Get rid of the little module. I always check oil, and if that's really going to be the problem, we got bigger problems. If you're running an engine out of oil, you shouldn't be running it. Bye to you. And the last thing is power inlet and starter. Okay, we're all disconnected. I'll save this for something. Brown wire is charging coil into here. Black wire, the one black wire is a kill that goes to the low oil shutdown with the green. This one with the black boot is the kill to the magneto. This guy with the ring terminal is main power to the switch from the battery that's live all the time. And then this is the trigger wire to the solenoid that actually starts this thing. So when it comes to rewiring this, it's pretty simple to go up to a dashboard or something else. I mean, you could always take this apart, take the key switch out of it, and it's got a circuit protector in here for either charging circuit or starter solenoid, one of the two if I had to guess. So anyways, I'll save this. I'm going to leave the starter in place, even though I'm not going to use it, just so that way it covers the flywheel. That there's a hole in the back there where the head comes through. And now really it's just, this is the stator wire at the bottom that'll get just zip tied up out of the way, and that's my kill switch wire. So I'll just do a ground. I like to tie the ground always. I always like to tie the ground back to the engine block. I have rubber insulators. Yeah, there might be some kind of continuity through those bolts and everything else, but it's just cleaner. You get a good kill when you have a good ground back to it. So all I'm going to do is just one wire to the block, one wire to this, to my kill switch on the dash. Super simple. So that'll come next. All right, next I'm going to hook up this throttle cable, because get it out of the way. I'll be able to zip tie it, and then I can actually get my other stuff kind of tidied with it. So this is the biggest item, or the most straight item, I guess, out of all this. So I'm going to get this going, and also this keeps poking me, so now's the time. So you can run these engines different ways. there is a anchor point and a connector for the throttle cable. Right here in the middle is your restrictor screw. And then this is your tensioner for throttle tension. And then there's a return spring back here. So this is 10 millimeter. So right now it's set up from the factory to be manual. So all the way to the right is lowest speed. The throttle will drop down to the idle adjustment on the carburetor. And then as you go up, puts more tension on the governor arm and forces it open. So you get the governor arm right here, and that's what operates the throttle. So, but it stays in that position because this bolt here is tight. So once we loosen that, it should snap back on its own. And there it goes. Now it's spring loaded. And when the engine's running, it'll have more tension because it's going to want to hold it in that direction. So that's our throttle. While I'm here, I'm going to remove this restrictor. So this is a high-speed restrictor. It'll only let the governor go so far. For this application, I don't really need it. So I'll pull this out. I have my tack on the dash too, that hour meter. So kind of nice. So we'll go full bore. And last but not least, I'm going to Loctite these. So right here is our anchor point for our cable. Okay. And pull that screw all the way out because I'm going to put a couple drops of Loctite on it. It won't solidify right away, so I'll have a little bit of time to get this adjusted. I can always move it afterwards, but these are notorious to come loose, so. So, throttle all the way down. This tip is a little funky, so I'll just bend it straight. This is the original throttle cable from the machine, so it's stayed the test of time. Let's see where we end up there. Make my adjustments along the way. And that is all the way down the throttle, all the way extended. That's as far as she'll go. I'm gonna hold back so that way I don't twist the whole cable. And we will send this guy home. And that is what holds the cable in place. So body of the cable itself. So, coming back to this, so I got my new belt. It's a 1/2 by 79 inch long. That came from Tractor Supply. I was able to match it up from the old that I had. I could probably fit a 1/2 by 80 too. This is 79 is probably the shortest that it could be, but it's kind of nice. Got a couple options, but 79 is gonna be good. It'll stretch a little bit, be perfect. So got that in. So we're hooked up. Transmission's connected to engine. Finished up my dashboard. So I got my throttle cable connected to the engine. I got it all bolted in. I have my hour meter hooked up and connected, and my kill switch. So that's my on-off for the engine. Over here, pull this lid. I got everything cleaned up. So throttle cable right there. I zip tied it to here. I have it routed underneath this mount on the gas tank. So I took the gas tank off, sent that around, goes around, it's out of the way of the full start, goes around to there, and there is my throttle control. So that's finished. This is my kill switch. So I got my kill switch wire soldered or wired to the magneto. She goes up to there, and then I have a ground. I brought the ground back to the engine block right there. This third wire is for the hour meter. That runs around, follows the throttle cable up here, goes around, and then she's wrapped around the ignition wire right there. So I'll have my tachometer and hour meter so I can maintain this motor. So engine-wise, we're pretty much done. I made the hood fit. So she's clearanced around the engine. The engine can flex, won't hit it. Engine's mounted, engine swap is done, controls are done, everything's finished. I'm gonna work my way to the back next. I'm gonna pull this, first I'll pull the wheel weight, then I'll pull this wheel off, and I will replace this band brake. So I have a brand new one, this one's shot, and then I'll adjust it out properly so that way it locks and operates properly. Then we'll move further back to the machine. I wanna tighten up and clean up this whole control linkage, make sure that that's all dialed in, Loctite everything, make it nice. I need to pull off this back carriage because it's bent, so I'll unbolt it, take it off, bend it back, put it back. I got to figure out this hitch situation because it's got some spacers. I'd like to get that pin out, make real spacers out of pipe and put it back because I use it a lot, but we'll see. And then I can start reconstructing everything, and we can put this thing back together and take it for a cruise. All right, next I'm going to pull this wheel. First thing I gotta do is pull this wheel weight off. So these are actually Sears Super 12, 1969 Sears Super 12 wheel weights. I'm off my other machine that I have. But this one I was using for snow plowing. With the chains, you really need the weight. There's our failed brake band. Got a couple cotter pins right here, and that one's broken. That's great. This one is probably going to break also. There we go. All right, let's take that washer off. And there's our old brake band. So the inner pad I already threw away, or I have it over there, but it's missing. Not 9/16. Is that a 1/2 inch head? Ah, there we go. Oh, let me put some Loctite on there. Back in the day. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's our, oh, so that's the pivot, interesting. So that has a shoulder, and this thing rides on the shoulder. And it's supposed to be tight and just ride on the shoulder. That's the pivot. That's cool. That's gonna be nice. I'm gonna fix that all up. This is our spring that keeps everything together and retracts it, I guess. Put that bolt back in. I'm gonna put this puppy back on. I'm gonna file the front and back of this so that way it doesn't bind. And then I'll mop it all up with some anti-seize. That's that. I don't want to get the anti-seize on the threads because I want to Loctite it because I don't want the bolt to come loose. And the bolt was definitely loose before. So I want to get it on the little spacer, on the shoulder, and I'm going to put some on the back side of this as well. Inside. That's what it's going to ride on. And then this gets sent home. Load that up with red Loctite. Send this home. Okay. That's our brake. That's our band brake. All right, so it has some natural play in it, but that's actually quite nice. This is from eBay. So goes that one. Actually, these can get a lot of these, just to keep them from destroying the metal. Lubricated. Hopefully this is the right one. It looked right. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's the real deal. I got good brakes. That's awesome. Okay, there's our brake band. So that's complete, and I can actually put this wheel back on, which is kind of nice. All right, put this wheel back on. I'll just put a little anti-seize in those. Beautiful. Now, I had, these are 3/8 shoulder bolts that were in there. They're not proper because they don't catch properly. These are 1/2" shoulder bolts, which fit the square in the back and the front of the actual wheel weight. So I only have 3 of them, so 3 bolts. I need 4 to do both sides. So for now, this side's apart. I'm gonna put it back together the proper way. These are a little long, so I'll cut them, polish up the edge, that way they're not sharp, and this side will be completely done. So. All right, that wheel's done. Wheel weight's on, brakes done, brakes are adjusted. I'm gonna pull this carriage off right now. These are carriage bolts. This is for the plow mount. So the plow is an undermount that comes all the way to the back. It's actually a really good design, so it comes all the way back to this cast iron case. So I'm gonna unbolt all this, and I'm going to straighten out that bent section in the middle, and then I'm gonna bolt it back on, and then this part will be complete as well. And that is my nice bend that I put in that. So I crashed into something? I don't know, maybe a stump that was sticking up? I don't recall. Who knows? All I know is it's definitely difficult to get the plow on and off because this is not exactly straight anymore. So I'll bend this straight, put it back on, that'll be done. So got this straightened out, got these lubed up. These aren't really the right clips, but they work really well. So they kind of fit in there just right. So yeah, this is done. So I'm gonna put this thing back on, bolt it up, put this part to rest as well. Good to go. So that's our carriage, that's finished. Start looking at this guy right here. So this is loose on this body, so, and this bolt back here too. So I'm gonna just pull it apart first, see what we're up against as far as hardware, washers, spring washers maybe. This looks like a nylock, I think, but it's all covered in grease, so it's really hard to tell. I just want to take it apart, clean it. This is a flat, okay, so flat washer on top. That's what, looks like there's another one on the bottom. Fulcrum. This one has a shoulder, so that's what it pivots on. That's a 1/2" bolt. And this is the adjustment for neutral. This like takes the slack out to make sure that everything operates properly. So I may actually have to take this apart, put it all back together, and then I'll make this adjustment while I have it on a jack so it doesn't walk away from me. Hey, somebody did this before. There's Loctite on there, and then that is what it slides on. You see how it's eccentric rather. Lift off, and yeah. Put that over there for now. There's a spacer on the back one. That is welded in, and that's welded in. So that's quite nice, actually. So spacer on the back. Just laying everything out the same way that I took it off. 2 washers on there. And spacer on the bottom. And this is my pivot arm. So I'm going to clean everything. I'm going to tighten up this, make sure that that's good. And then I can adjust my arm for drive, my swash plate. Got this whole unit cleaned up, greased, or got the grease off it, got it loaded up with anti-seize, got everything tight, and it took apart that Heim joint, lubricated that, took apart that one, lubricated that one. So we are back in business, and this plate is nice and firm, stays in place, and I can always tighten that nut and make it a little bit tighter so it holds. But I like having control, so I don't like it too stiff. Okay, I'm starting to put this back end back together. The original bolts were just destroyed, so I have these nice 5/16 with nylock nuts, washers. So this is a pretty, I mean, it's not a crazy pressure point, but it's the tail end of the front frame where it starts to become the back. So that's nice and secure, ready to go. I'm gonna put this carriage back on. These bolts on the back lead to, they're drilled straight through to the gear case. So if any water gets in there, they'll actually, or if any water passes through the threads, it'll make its way into the gear case. So I'm going to actually put dope on those, some plumber's dope. So that guy goes over there. This goes, where is it? Under there. And over there. This is the breather for the body. And then there's this little piece of steel that goes over the top of that. And then these two bolts get threaded down into there. I'm going to put lock washers and dope on those. So these guys are each going to get a washer and some. This is a Teflon based dope. I think it'll be better for this application. And it's nothing special, but anything will do just to help seal it up. So I just unbolted the seat carriage from the seat. These are the springs, and this seat is beyond destroyed. And I hate seats because they're so expensive and they always get destroyed. But this one is done. So I'm gonna put this to the side. So I just ordered a VVOR replacement. So pretty much same dimensions as this. Amazon, 75 bucks. So it has adjustable tracks on the bottom. So this is 7.5 wide. Bolts are 7 inches this way, 7.5 wide. So I'm going to, on the bottom of the VVOR seat, they go a minimum of 6.3 and then it goes out to like 14 inches. So it'll be perfect. I'll adjust it, bolt it up. I think it's adjustable forward and aft as well, or forward and back as well. This has slides. It's all the way back right now. But yeah, I'm on this a lot in the wintertime, so I always have like a big coat on, so it's nice having a little bit more room. And if I can get it to shift back a little bit, that'll be good too. One issue is that the body is pretty much completely rotten. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's really bad. But I'm going to pressure wash it. And if you can see, like this is where the body connects. So you have the main bar here, and then you have those two pads, which are here. And then what ends up happening is this gets bolted, and then it had a micro switch prior. And then when it comes down, these guys are the spring-loaded section, so that way this comes in contact with the micro switch, which was right there, which is right there, which isn't in use anymore. So, unfortunately, this is all steel structure, and then when this seat goes down, all your weight on the backside, well, a good portion of your weight's on the front on these hinges on this bracket, but a lot of your body weight goes down and sits on this area, which is, I mean, rotten through. So I'm thinking I'm going to take this and pressure wash it and then give it a couple coats of paint, because it's just like, it's rusty, but I'm never going to be able to get it on. And like this was all rotted. I trimmed it and just hit it with the floppy disk just to keep myself from slicing myself open. But you can see right there and there is where these land. And this is pretty rotten. But I really only need it for the body and for the fenders. So what I was thinking is drill a hole in the fender and then do away with this and have your body weight come down onto here instead of back here, which actually, in hindsight, is probably the smarter move. I just need to basically, I mean, I'll probably just put a, either like a big rubber bumper in there, or even just the head of a big 1/2-inch bolt. You can literally just drill a hole into both sides. It probably wasn't like that from the get-go, because this was designed to have a fuel tank that sat in here. And then there was a big fuel cap, and it had a fuel pump that ran up. But now everything's on the engine. So that's probably the easier thing. Get rid of these little lands, drill a hole dead center, and then put a nice big 1/2-inch bolt with a nice head on there. And then when you're sitting, your weight will come down onto there. I mean, I could even do it in one of these existing holes too. We'll see. We'll see. That might be the move. So I just took this whole carriage apart, replaced all the hardware. They were all destroyed. So nice nylock nuts, 5/16 bolts with flat washers. These are on slides, so these can slide fore and aft. Once I get the new seat, that'll mount right to it. Fix these too, put a little anti-seize in there so it swivels nice. I put this cover on, I put this fender on. I still got to take it off at some point, and I'm probably going to put a coat of paint on it. But I figured out what I'm going to do with this. So this is the steel structure that comes up. It's got the 4 bolts. All I did was, these holes existed already. I just opened them up to 1/2 inch. And I got these 1/2 inch bolts with a nice big flat washer. And then I took out those old lands from the seat that used to land on the sheet metal. So now, when this seat comes down, this is the proudest thing here. It's higher than these heads. So when this guy comes down, it lands directly on those. And now, all of the weight of the seat and whoever's on it is on the structure below and not on the sheet metal itself. So that's what I wanted. That was what I was looking to accomplish. Got my new seat from Vevor, Amazon special. It's so close to the same, if not the same. I mean, it's pretty wild. Came with a couple of tracks and an adjustable slide. The bolts on the bottom don't line up with the holes on there, so I'm gonna have to use the slides. But I think it's gonna be perfect. And then I'll have it even more, it'll be even more adjustable. So I'm gonna bolt the slides to the bottom of the seat, and then bolt the slides and the seat to the springs, and we should be good to go here. And then we'll be pretty much 100%. I got ready to get the seat done, and then I think I'm gonna pull this back fender off, give it a pressure washing, take the hood off, give that a pressure washing, and I got some brick red spray paint that kind of matches rust. I didn't want it to be bright red because it's gonna stand out too much. It's still gotta be ugly. So we're just gonna make it so that it doesn't turn back to dirt, because that's what this is doing. But yeah, so gonna get this thing dialed in. All right, for the 10th iteration of this, I moved this over because it was interfering, and I got everything straightened out, swapped these. So this time it should be good. And then I can get it straight. I can send it all home. Seat is now on these 1/2 inch bolts. It doesn't sit on here anymore, it sits on here. So I don't have nuts on the bottom yet, but I will. And let's see how we're doing here. So all the way back. Oh, that's all right. Wow. Oh, that's nice. A little bit taller, a little prouder. Release the brake all the way. All right, this is gonna be good. Now it's not resting on the frame, it's on the springs. Very comfortable. Let's see, far forward. Forward locked. It's comfortable. That's good. Oh, very nice. It goes a long way. I should have bought a seat a long time ago. All the way back. It's right there. It's too far back. It's actually awesome. Very nice. Glad we did that. It's awesome. I can always move it more forward, but the slides, so there's the slides on the seat and then the slides on the springs. So I have the slides, or the springs, the spring mounts are all the way back right now. So this is actually as far back. I think it doesn't lock in the furthest position back. That's the furthest position. And it's actually, I'm 6 foot, so we're just shy of 6 foot. It's not long enough. You can also do that, which is kind of nice. You have to switch up here. So not bad. Oh, the whole 9. That's perfect. Very nice. And it looks stock. I mean, it's the same style that was on there. Very good. All right, next thing to do is just do a quick paint job, fire this thing up, and we'll be good to go. This is complete. So put a coat of paint on it. Really just did the hood and the back fenders. Did the underside as well to keep it from rusting. Got everything all put back together. Engine running. Got our access for the motor here. Now flip that up, get to the gas, get the air cleaner and everything else. Everything's mounted, nice and simple. Throttle cable, kill switch, and hour meter. So kill switch right here, hour meter, and throttle. So pull start, no electric, as we said. Lock that up. Got our drive side. So new pulley, new mount, new bushings, new belt, tensioner, spring loaded, goes back to the pump. Got our drive set up, got our new brake band on, painted these fenders, new seat, all new hardware underneath the seat, on the hinges. These bolts go down to the frame, and they just squeeze everything together, and they are the proudest part of this. So the heads stick higher than these. So when this comes down, it actually lands on those, and the weight goes on the framework instead of the body. Got new oil in the rear, straightened out that carriage underneath, fixed up this toe hitch situation. Fixed these wheel weights, got them bolted on right, did the other side as well, and we're all there. Got our new brake band in there. This thing's complete. So that's a project done. I have as I said, I have the plow for this. So this is primarily used for pulling and for snow plowing. Hydraulics work awesome, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna start this thing up. I'm gonna run it around a little bit, just make sure she's 100%. But that's it. Came out really good. Ready for work. Thanks for watching.